Oksana, probably every entrepreneur starts with some combination of a dream or a vision to form their own company. And then they go to family and friends, and that's their pathway to start out. But what nobody talks much about is when is it time to bail out on an idea? How do you answer that? If you're an entrepreneur, the last thing you want to do is invest your life in something that's not going to work. And there must be some ideas that you should bail out on. How do you know when it's time to bail out?
Wow, what a deep question. I don't think on the spot I could give you a universal answer, but I think there is this saying that I think you have to believe is like if you're doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. Okay? So I think that's about the only thing that I would want to caution people with. Sometimes working harder by doing the same things again and again is not successful, cannot be successful. You have to try to find a way out of this that will lead you either to the success that you're seeking or to a clear definition that success is no longer possible, and then you take your learnings and you apply them to someone else. Because it's a very fine balance, like everything in life, there is no clean and simple answer, because grit and perseverance are really, really essential in this. Not many people know that Twitter, the team that founded Twitter, came out, I think there was a different name to that company, but they came out with a product, they raised money and they came out with a product that was pretty interesting, but Apple came out with something that was a product killer, either a week before they were to go to market or the week after. So it was obvious to everyone that that no longer could succeed. And the team went to investors, what do you want us to give the money back? They took couple of weeks to come up with a different way to do things and to pivot, and that's how they came up with Twitter. So often when you fail, when your idea ends, you don't know, you don't yet have the benefit of the experience to go back and understand why this experience was useful. And there is no clear-cut recipe. And those decisions will be difficult because on the one hand, as a succeeding entrepreneur, you have to have grit. Grit is the most important thing. The very first book in Sputnik's first week one curriculum is a book by Angela Duckworth that I could not recommend highly enough to pretty much anyone, but certainly to startup entrepreneurs. The book is called Grit. However, you need to listen to your heart, you need to listen to your friends, you need to listen to your customers. If what you're doing is a stalemate and no one is wanting to buy it, you need to change it in such a way, iterate in such a way that it does work, or go do something else.
Sometimes people go to MBA school in search of what they ought to do. In fact, MBA school is sometimes a way of bailing out of a job they've either failed at or get no satisfaction from, or both. They fail at it sometimes because they get no satisfaction from it. They often look for, in speeches I've given at least, they often look for something that will give them a respectable title and a respectable salary. But what they probably should look for, in the opinion of some people, is something that they're passionate about. You agree with that or disagree with it?
I think that aspiring to work in the field that you're passionate about is a quintessential ingredient of success. It will not be possible. It doesn't mean that every day is play and roses, because there will be difficult days. There are days when you need to just suck up and do what's necessary. But I think pursuing your passion is very, very important. But it's easier said than done. What is someone's passion? How do you know that you found it? And I think MBA is a really interesting step in someone's professional exploration. What you do is that actually is a different thing. Because to me, the number one value, and I've argued over and over with friends of mine, because a lot of friends of mine are MBAs, is I think the number one value you extract from the MBA is the group of people that you are surrounded with, the fellow students, and that experience of learning something complex together under pressure forms the bonds that then, as everyone goes and opens their own world and becomes successful in his or her own right, you have a band of people who think like you, who know you for who you truly are, not what your suit and tie tells, not what your title, but how you are as a human being, and you know the same about them, and you could rely on them for an advice, for the partnership, for the business, joint business opportunities. That is the most valuable thing the good MBA program will give you. I would venture to say that everything else you probably could learn from books and right now on YouTube, on internet. The value of the MBA program is assembling people and putting them together that have very, very different life experience, very, very different background, and putting them in this pressure cooker to learn and basically master what the world of business has to offer in 18 months or less. And I think that experience is what people need to be looking for. And I think it's also a great way to discover other fields that you might not have had exposure to because your fellow students did. The value of good MBA is bringing people of excellence, but with non-homogeneous backgrounds, and making them really learn from each other and with each other. I think that's the best value. Is it necessary to succeed as an entrepreneur or in corporate America? I don't think it is. Could it accelerate you? It might if you approach it with the right mindset. Is it certain to accelerate you? I don't think so. I've seen quite a few people who have wasted those years, and I've seen quite a few people who have made the most out of them.